What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats of every one of the weapons in Modern Warfare 3. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering the last of the launch shotguns. This is the Riveter. And let's dive right into our damage ranges here. And the Riveter is the only Modern Warfare 3 shotgun that can't get a one-shot kill. However, its two-shot kill potential is just 4 meters. That is quite a short range. Our 3-shot kill potential, assuming you're hitting all your pellets, is 12 meters. And then anything beyond that will take you at least 4 shots to kill, and sometimes even more than that. However, it does have the longest reach out of all the shotguns at 31.5 meters. Just a quick note on that, you guys might notice from the previous gun guides, I actually had the incorrect value for the Riveter's maximum reach potential. That was just due to a small error in my spreadsheet. As for our rate of fire, this is actually very fast for a shotgun at 400 rounds per minute. And that's what really justifies the fact that this can't get a one-shot kill, and it's generally going to be like a 2 to 3 shot kill within its effective ranges. And what this means is with a 2-shot kill, we're killing in 150 milliseconds, which is a very fast time to kill in this game. And even with a 3-shot kill, which is going to be fairly common with this gun, we're still killing in 300 milliseconds, which is still a very competitive time to kill with most of the other guns in this game. Beyond that though, this is where its effectiveness really starts to drop off, so ideally you want to make sure you're taking no more than 3 shots to kill with the Riveter, if you can manage it. Then let's get into our hipfire spread, and there's nothing too out of the ordinary here. Our minimum hipfire spread's a little bit better than average, whereas our maximum hipfire spread while moving, this is bang on average for the Modern Warfare 3 shotguns. And then I just wanted to show you guys the aim down sight spread. It's not bad at all, it's definitely better than the Haymaker at 2.2 degrees per second. Next up, let's have a look at our handling stats, and our aim down sight time is actually quite good for a shotgun at 290 milliseconds, and our sprint out time is okay for a shotgun in this game at least at 210 milliseconds for our standard sprint out time and 310 milliseconds for our tactical sprint out time. As for our reload add time, this is 1.55 seconds, which is not amazing, but also not bad by any means. I'd say this is just kind of like an okay reload. However, it is also worth noting we get a great default magazine capacity at 15 rounds with this. And then finally, for the base stats of this shotgun, let's have a look at our movement speeds. And for our base movement speed and sprint movement speed, these are just standard for shotguns. And then our aim walking movement speed is a little bit above average at 3 meters per second. So it is actually fairly viable to strafe in gunfights when aiming down sight. And there we go, that wraps it up for all of the important base stats of the Riveter. Now let's get into the important attachments, and we're going to start this off with the ammo types. And the first one is the ball ammo, and this is just horrible. I'll tell you guys right up front, don't ever use the ball ammo. Well, you do get an infinite hit potential with this. It's extremely inaccurate at really long ranges, so the chances of hitting are pretty low. And then on top of that, and I'd say most importantly, we don't have a 2-shot kill potential to the body with this. And our 3-shot kill range is only 5.9 meters, so that's not very good at all for a 3-shot kill. I don't know what the purpose of this ammo type is meant to be, but it's just a straight downgrade to your gun if you use this, so stay far away from that one. Then let's have a look at slugs, and slugs are at least a little more viable, even though I generally still stay away from them. With this, we do have a 2-shot kill potential, but it's only 2.6 meters to the torso. So that's actually a reduction compared to just using the base ammo. However, an interesting thing with the slug that I've noticed is we've got an amazing 3-shot kill potential if we're hitting torso shots. As far as I can tell, this extends out to around 40 meters or so. It's kind of hard to control things at that range, but it is a reasonably consistent 3-shot kill within any range that you should be using a shotgun at least. So not completely unviable, but also just not great in my opinion. And this just leaves us with Incendiary ammo, which is actually quite interesting and very solid on the Riveter, surprisingly. With this, well, we are significantly reducing our maximum hit potential to just over 20 meters. You might notice we're significantly improving our 2-hit kill potential at 8.7 meters, assuming the enemy isn't using EOD. Now, if they are using EOD, that 2-shot kill potential is now 3.5 meters, which is still pretty close to the base 2-shot kill potential of this gun, so it's not like it's a significant downgrade against EOD users. And most importantly with this, as long as you're hitting all of your pellets, with Incendiary ammo, within its hit potential, it's never going to take you more than 3 shots to kill, even against an EOD user. Now obviously it could take you more than 3 shots if you're missing pellets, but if you're on point with your shot and you have builds that tighten up your spread nicely, the Incendiary ammo is actually very solid on the Riveter, and I'll definitely be sharing a build with that. So there we go, that's the ammo types. Now let's move on to the barrels, and we have 3 different barrels with this. We have the Kilo short barrel, which will very slightly reduce all of our range values, but not really by a large margin. It's not that bad at all. Then we have the SA Draven 20 long barrel. This one will noticeably improve our ranges, especially our maximum hit potential. It's now 42.5 meters, which is pretty crazy. But also pay close attention to that 3-shot kill range, because that's still the effective range of this gun in my opinion. That's 16 meters now, which is very impressive. And then finally, we have the JCXL suppressed barrel, so it's got an integrated suppressor in it, and it slightly improves our damage ranges. Our 3-shot kill is now 14 meters. So honestly, I feel like you can't go wrong with any of these barrels. It just depends on the type of build that you're trying to create. They're all good in their own ways. After that, let's have a look at the chokes that will tighten up our aim down sight spread compared to our base aim down sight spread. And as you can see here, we have the Bryson Improved choke as well as the Bryson choke and Crownbreaker muzzle. And it's quite interesting with my tests here. The Bryson choke and Crownbreaker muzzle should have a noticeably tighter spread compared to the Bryson Improved choke, but we're not really seeing too much of a difference there. In either case, with any of these chokes that you're using, we will see a very noticeable improvement compared to the base aim down sight spread. And also, just like with the Haymaker, there is that interesting characteristic if you use the Canted laser. When you aim down sight with that, all of your pellets will go into the same hole. It will be perfectly accurate every single time. And that's something we're definitely going to be taking advantage of with at least one of our builds today. And speaking of builds, let's dive right into the first one I'm going to share for you guys. And this is my good all-around Hipfire Tac Stance build. And with this one, we're using the Crownbreaker choke, the SA Draven 20 long barrel, the Bruin Bastion angled grip, the Verdant hook box laser, and then finally the DAV 15 light tactical stock. And with this particular build, you can see we have very tight hipfire spreads and also a very tight tac stance spread. And while the in-game menus state that our tac stance spread isn't as good as our aim down sight spread, in practice, it actually appears to give us a tighter spread than aiming down sight, which is great because then we also get the benefits of tac stance. Now with this build, our full aim down sight time is 304 milliseconds, which is a bit slower, but if we're just going into tac stance, it's actually faster than that value. Our sprint out time is also slightly improved at 200 milliseconds. And since we're using that long barrel, our 2-shot kill range is 5.2 meters and our 3-shot kill range is 16 meters, which are both quite solid for this particular gun. So like I said, this is just a good all-arounder, nothing too out of the ordinary with this build, just improving the stats nicely and making it quite solid. Next, let's get into a build that I'm actually quite excited about. This is my Incendiary Slug build. You're not actually firing a slug, but we are taking advantage of the Canted laser, which means when you aim down sight with this, it will effectively act like a slug in the sense that all of your pellets go in the same spot. Now with this build, of course, we're using that Canted laser. We've got the SA Draven 20 long barrel again. We are using the Flash Twist 90 muzzle because we actually want to improve our recoil control a bit, because recoil actually matters with a build like this. We also have the SL vertical underbarrel grip, which again will help a bit with recoil while also helping with handling. And then finally, we're using the incendiary ammo. And with this, our aim down sight speed's improved at 286 milliseconds. Our sprint out time's also slightly improved, but pretty much the same as the base. And most importantly here, our 2-shot kill range is 9.9 meters, which is very impressive considering we're killing at 150 milliseconds within this range. So anything within that range, you're outgunning all of the SMGs in this game, no problem. Additionally with this, our maximum hit potential is 27 meters, and within that 27 meter range, as long as you're aiming down sight, it's always going to be a 3-shot kill, even against an EOD user. And that makes for a very consistent setup. One of the downsides though, if you start stretching your range, is it does have a fair amount of recoil. However, I just want to show you what the recoil looks like at 9.9 meters, which is our 2-shot kill potential. And while there's definitely a decent amount of recoil, that's manageable. You should be able to land your 2 shots on target before it gets too out of control on you. And this right here is just such a good build with the Riveter. I really enjoy this one, and I honestly think it's one of the better builds that you can create with this gun. In saying that though, I've got one last build I wanted to share for you guys, and this is my stealth build with the Riveter. So with this one, we have that integrated suppressed barrel, the Bruin Bastion angled grip, the Stovall DR laser box, since this is not a visible laser, and we want to be stealthy with this one. We once again have that DAV 15 light tactical stock, and then finally the X10 rear grip. Now with this one, our aim down sight speed's a bit on the slow side, so I would recommend using it in tac stance rather than fully aiming down sight, and it's pretty decent in tac stance. Our sprint out time is noticeably improved at 193 milliseconds. Our 2-shot kill range is 4.5 meters, and our 3-shot kill range is 14 meters. Both of those are improvements compared to the base version of the Riveter, since we're using that suppressed barrel, which improves our range a bit. And with this one, I will say we don't have the most amazing hipfire spread. It's not like the first build I shared for you guys. But this is more so about being stealthy, staying off the radar, and using that stealth capability in order to close that gap on unsuspecting enemy players. So overall, this isn't my favorite build to use with the Riveter. I definitely prefer the previous two, but it is a very solid build if you're planning on staying off the radar, and you can definitely make this work quite well. And with that, that's going to wrap it up today's gun guide on the Riveter. as for my thoughts on this gun, honestly, before doing this breakdown and just kind of playing around with it a little bit, I fully expected to come out of this video saying that this isn't a very good shotgun and it needs some buffs in order to be better. But honestly, now that I understand it better and I understand which attachments are best for this, I think it's a great shotgun. I'm really happy with it in its current state. Maybe not the most powerful shotgun in the game or anything, but I still really enjoy using it, and if you treat it right, you can find a ton of success with this gun. Now, of course, these are just my opinions on the Riveter, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this in those comments down below. And if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Gun Guides, I will leave a link to a playlist in the description of the video. We've now covered all of the primary weapons that are currently in the game, so it's just pistols left to cover, and then any post-launch weapons as well. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.